friends, I would like to greet you and congratulate you because you are the pioneers that are helping ground 5D on planet Earth. So today's topic is about portals. Portals that lead into 5D and portals that lead into the lower astral plane. The purgatory, the bardos, the hells, and portals that lead into Swargaloka, the higher dimensions, the 5th dimension, 6th dimension, 7th dimension, the higher dimensions, beyond polarity. This is one of the reasons why the twin flames are sent on the planet Earth, because we are taking the planet out of duality into singularity, and it is the singularity matrix that is the gateway to the higher dimensions. Higher dimensions begin only after singularity. Duality is a plane where we learn lessons. We learn about, like what we're going to learn today, DNA. What is DNA? DNA is a portal to bring in the lower timelines. And what happens when you bring in the lower timelines? More conflict in this world, more negativity in this world, more fragmented aspects in this world, more ugliness in this world. What is the gateway? You don't always need scientists from CERN to work in their research laboratory and learn how to create portals into lower dimensions so that they can get some sort of a control over the masses. You don't need to do that. You just have to find one family in your neighborhood with the corrupted DNA. That's it. You know, in Hindi there is a saying called "एक गंदी मछली पूरा तालाब गंदा कर देती है." Before the culture and community moved away from the truth of Sanatana, before the culture, people and community had third eye blockages, throat chakra blockages, and were lost in material consumption, people were aware about the DNA quality. That is why those who owned businesses always consulted astrologers, always consulted elders, always consulted the brahmanas. Because one corrupt person in the organization could pollute everything. Why? Because that corrupt person, via their corrupted DNA, is linked into the lower timelines. They pull in the lower timelines. And what does the lower timelines do? The lower timelines affect everybody around them. This person is able to affect and to a certain extent mind control the rest of the people via the unhid shadow self. That is why we need to revive this culture of choosing people carefully, not only based on their professional credentials, but what timelines they are pulling in. People call it bias. It is not bias. It is a different type of intelligence that people have forgotten about. If I were owning a business, I would choose my employees very carefully based on if they have done DNA healing and restoration or not. See, we are not living in olden times now. We are not living in karmic timelines so much now. There are so many teachers who teach how to heal the DNA and restore the DNA and clear up the ancestral traumas that corrupt the DNA and link you into lower timelines that ultimately pollute the society. Some type of weightage has to be given to DNA because DNA is the portal through which you pull in the lower timelines, through which you can create a heavenly society, a successful business, or a business where as a business owner you don't have peace of mind, because you don't have the right employees doing the right things. You cannot trust. Whether it's a business employee you're looking for, whether it's a wife you're looking for, now you know where you have to look. Remember, there is a weightage, a value. There is a value to the wisdom of the ancestors. There is a value to the knowledge of the Brahmanas. There is a value to the knowledge of the Guru that advises the king. Because I am such a person, I never had all these cultural biases. And it is not a bias, this is just the truth. I wasn't aware of all these things. I didn't come from a Brahmana family. I learned this through hard experience, that DNA is a portal that can lead you to either higher dimensions or lower dimensions. In today's culture, where sex is promoted so much, these things are very important to remember. You want to go to heaven or you want to go to a gutter, you have to think about it, right? Just because you're getting somebody free, it could lead you, it could have, that person could have a gutter DNA. And then from that time onwards, all your financial problems could start. I have heard stories from men like that. Just because you are having a need and just because somebody else is having a need, it doesn't mean you have to bypass the DNA factor. If you're thinking of building a successful business, if you're thinking of having a good family life in the future, be careful. If you want to commit suicide, then go ahead. Go ahead. If you want to ruin your business, you want to lose your job, go ahead. Mix up with all this type of people and get what they are giving you for free. As I said, DNA is a portal that can lead you to hell timelines or to heaven timelines. And there is some value in trusting the advice of your elders. There is some value in trusting the advice of the Guru and of the Brahmins and of the astrologer. Even to this date, just because most of the people have third eye blockages and have forgotten this wisdom doesn't mean DNA doesn't pull in lower timelines or higher timelines. DNA has that power to pull in the lower timelines or the higher timelines. You don't need to be a sun scientist, you just need to find some corrupt family in your neighborhood. If you want to visit the hell timelines, I mean to say. This is why I like the social system in USA. They have some form of control over the corrupt timelines as they have some form of control over the society. They have some form of control over the social system, which means they have some form of control over people who are pulling in the lower timelines via their unhealed DNA. And thank God we are living in a day and age where people are aware of byproducts of corrupted DNA like narcissism, lack of success, inability to perceive a healthy feminine energy, healthy masculine energy. Ultimately, the person who's creating the karma is the one who's suffering, right? But we don't need a society in which people are suffering. It's high time we clean it up, and we clean it up by becoming aware that DNA is a portal that leads to lower dimensions or higher dimensions. I'm not going to be popular by sharing this, but I'm going to be a protector by sharing this. So many men will have their businesses saved if they listen to this video and if they avoided one wrong woman with low level DNA. Those men will thank me. To them, I'm their goddess because I saved their job, I saved their businesses by saving them from that one woman with corrupted DNA that could take them to hell. That's enough. Even if I can save the soul of one man, I'm happy. So you have to remember that DNA is a portal that connects you to dimensions and timelines. Lower dimensions, corrupted DNA, healthy DNA will connect you to higher timelines. There's another thing that I wish to share about timelines here. In Hindu mythology, going overseas was considered as a taboo. Do you know why astrologically or maybe in the Indian culture going overseas was considered a taboo? Like not like small seas, big seas like the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. Uh, Covering the big seas, okay, was considered as a taboo, okay. And this same principle, what I'm going to share with you right now, applies even to forest, deserts, and seas. But vast forest, vast seas, and vast deserts. And the word vast is important because I'll tell you why. See, in olden times, what used to happen is if somebody has a lot of negative karma, we would see it through the 12th house in the astrology. And 12th house is also the house of foreign lands. So if a person, the native, is going to the foreign lands, he has to cross all these big seas, okay, or maybe big deserts even. And in that moment, what happens when you enter a zone where there is a big sea or there is a big vast ocean? You are in a zone where you're shifting timelines. And no astrologer will tell you this. Only a person who's experienced in metaphysics can tell you this. You are experiencing that zone where you are not in the third dimension, you're shifting timelines. That's why all these things, be it sea, forest, desert, is governed by the 12th house in astrology. Ask any astrologer. You are in a zone that is not grounded. You are in a zone where you can shift timelines. Now most people who had to leave in olden times, most people who had to leave the country and go to a foreign land, that was because of heavy karma. So what used to happen is when they used to go across this sea or desert or forest, they would be shifting timelines. And when they are shifting timelines, they are in the 12th house, okay, of the astrology chart. And where would they go? If they are having heavy karma, where would they go, my friends? They would go down into the lower timelines, and that is the reason overseas travel, foreign travel was considered a taboo. Now I have given you an example of how the ancient wisdom had a reason that most of the third eye chakra blocked people have forgotten. Respect the ancient wisdom. I'm not saying believe all the superstitions, but how do blind people tell what is superstition and what is reality? That only a person with a balanced third eye can tell. No, blind people are making comments on this knowledge. How? If you can't see the reasoning behind something, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Now I have given the reason why in olden times traveling overseas was a taboo. Because when you travel overseas and you're having negative karma, then you shift into the lower timelines. You shift into the lower astral timelines. That's why it was considered taboo. That time the people had, chakra balancing. They had this understanding of how reality works. But nowadays we live in a culture where people's chakras are blocked. And these type of people are in power positions in the society. It's pathetic. Pathetic. But the positive side of it is that people are making efforts. The other day, a friend of mine mentioned to me that there were some really high level police officers and administration officials of the Indian administration who were taking part in a soul fragmentation healing ceremony. See, DNA has that memory. These police officials or these people who are in the administration, ISS, IPS, whatever, they know that soul fragmentation healing is the way. So they were participating in a secret ceremony where only few people were there. It was very private, it was very secret, few invitees were there. And they were healing their souls, they were healing their DNA. Now tell me why these IPS officers are healing DNA. They are not telling this to anybody. My friend told me. These IAS people, these IPS people, why they are participating in soul fragmentation healing, shamanic healing workshops? Because they know that DNA is the key. It can pull in lower timelines or higher timelines. It can create a heavenly society or a slum. They are IPS, they are ISS. It is very important for them to have healthy DNA. No, first, they are aware of that. That's why secretly. Why secretly? Because the public will accuse them of being casteist. If public comes to know that they are working on their DNA and doing these secret ceremonies. Guys, it's high time we accept the truth. You want to raise your level, then just go and take a course. Instead of blaming other people and accusing them of casteism, just take a course. So many plenty cheap courses are available to heal your DNA. Save your children, save your future generations, save your neighborhood. Contribute by healing your DNA. So, friends, let me tell you a story of shifting timelines. Okay, so the other day I watched this story on YouTube, and it was a story about how a person encountered some paranormal activity, a negative activity. Okay, and it was connected to eating meat. Okay, so this person really loved to eat chicken. Okay, and in his childhood, because they were coming from a, like, financially challenged place, he could not afford to eat the chicken. So he was very very like desperate for his chicken, because he had not done his inner child healing work. Okay, so this happened in truth. Okay, it's one of the story that really happened. So when he grew up, he started earning money. He started eating a lot of chicken. He became a chicken addict. Okay, because in the childhood he did not have money to eat the chicken. So one day, due to a lot of work, being busy or something, he couldn't find the time to buy chicken, and his friends also couldn't find the time to buy chicken for him. But he was hungry and he only wanted chicken. So then what happened is, it was late, it was the month of March, and it is the closing time here for offices, accounts closing, all of that. And he was late, it was post 9 in the office, and he decided that there should be some restaurant around, but most of the restaurants were closed. After 8:30 they were closed. So he ventured a little bit far away. He ventured in a society that was a little bit far away. It was a very strange society where buildings were closed and there weren't much people, but he got a smell of chicken, and he came across this shop where people were selling chicken. And I will not go into the scary details of the story, okay? But he encountered some paranormal activity there, okay? He encountered some paranormal activity there. So after he managed to save his life from that place, he came back and he told his friends that I experienced this negative incident there in that shop. And then the friends told him that there used to be a shop there. Okay, so when after a few days he went to visit the same place again, that shop was not there. Instead of that, there was a broken down building there. And his friends told him that many years back there used to be a shop there, and that shop was closed, and some murders had taken place there. So what happened is, they were selling illegal meat there. Besides chicken, they were selling other types of meat, maybe dogs, cats, and God knows what was they were selling. So the police had put a raid there, and the owner of the shop had actually killed all of his employees so that they don't tell the police what was actually going on. So the police cannot question them, because the police will interrogate them, right? And out of receiving a beating, they could tell the truth. So the owner forcefully killed all the employees. Now all these people, they went in the lower astral, okay, and their spirits were still there. So This person, because he had not done his shadow work, because he had not worked on his DNA, he became a match to those astral timelines. And I also told you long, vast oceans, vast deserts, lonely places. These are the places where the timeline shifts. So when he entered that colony, that lonely colony, he shifted into lower astral timelines. Okay, he shifted into lower astral timelines, and he reached that hellish region where those spirits were trapped. And he had that negative paranormal activity, but he must have done some good in his life, so God saved his life, and he came out of that place without becoming somebody's food, without becoming somebody's barbecue. So he came out of that area, but how did he encounter that paranormal activity? It was because he had not worked on his DNA. It was because he had not done his inner child healing. That inner child was craving for the chicken, right? And he had not done the healing on that. Okay. So there was some issue that a person had not healed around chicken, around meat eating, or whatever that is, that made him a match to those hellish timelines where he was really, really scared after what he had seen at that shop. And he managed to save his life. So whatever it is, friends, whether it's a bad relationship, you're not able to recognize a karmic, whether it's a situation where you're not able to get success, whether it's a situation where you're having a lot of enemies at your workplace or wherever, whether it's a situation where you're encountering paranormal activity, it is all because of corrupted DNA. So love yourself, work on DNA healing, work on your inner child healing, work on some therapies that integrate the left brain and right brain and come into a state of singularity, unity consciousness. Do the inner work, pay people, value people who do these kinds of things, who restore your DNA and save the world. So friends, this is what I have to tell you today. The moral of the story is DNA is a portal that pulls in the lower timelines or pulls in the higher timelines. And for the twin flames, I have a very special message. You complain that your divine masculine rejects you. He is a divine masculine. Ladies, he is a divine masculine. As long as you have corrupted DNA, he will not recognize you. Heal the corrupted DNA, then become worthy to be with your twin flame. He is divine masculine. He is divine masculine. He is the manifestation of Sun. He is the manifestation of Mercury. He is the manifestation of Mars. He is the manifestation of Saturn. Yes, his feminine side is not healed. That is his work. But at least his masculine side is healed. No, not only healed, it is divine masculine side. And the masculine aspect is very pure in the divine masculine. The feminine aspect is very pure in the divine feminine. The opposite aspect meets healing. So if the masculine aspect is pure inside your twin, he can see that you have corrupted DNA. So that is why we advise first do the inner work. Do the inner work. Don't complain that the divine masculine is running away from you, avoiding you, giving your triggers. Divine masculine cares about social systems. So he will always want his divine feminine to heal the DNA and save the world. Heal the DNA, create social systems that are harmonious. How? By pulling in the 5D timelines, by pulling in the non-corrupted timelines. Everything is in your DNA. Transgenerational trauma is in your DNA. Save the world. Divine feminine, before becoming worthy of your divine masculine, you have to clean up your DNA and you have to save the world. You have to save the society. You have to heal the morphogenic fields. You have to restore the grids. Because he will never accept corrupted DNA. Once the soul merge happens, once your DNA is pure, once your third eye chakra is balanced, then your divine feminine, then your twin will come chasing after you wherever you might be on this world. You don't have to worry about it. Anywhere you go in the world, your divine masculine will chase you, will come after you, because he can sense the classy DNA. You want a divine masculine? Get the classy DNA. Prove yourself. It's a challenge he has given you. Can you do it? Can you be a divine feminine with divine DNA? That is love, my friends. That is social service. That is social security. Because you're not pulling in the lower timelines, you have security, and you're giving security to the world also. You're saving the society also by saving them from your corrupted DNA. At least 1 hour in a week you can invest on DNA healing. Why? Because that is the only way your DM is going to accept you. Okay? So that is what love is. Love is not selfish. Love saves the society also from corrupted DNA. Okay? So this is what I have to share with you today. Hope you like my video. I don't care if you don't like it. I'm going to speak the truth. Because I'm coming from a place of love. I'm coming from a place of showing the twin flames the way to reunite. I am a divine mirror and I care about the social systems. I desperately want to see a world that is a harmonious world, that is a beautiful world, that is a world where the feminine energy is secure. That is a world where twin flames reunite physically. That's only possible in the fifth dimension after your third eye is balanced and after the crown chakra is merged with you. Because twin flames don't come here to do the romance. Twin flames come here to fix the social systems, and you can never fix the social systems if you have people with corrupted DNA. That's what the message is. It's a hard truth, but that is the only way to fix the social systems. So if you need a session with me, I'm open to sessions. Okay, you can check out my artworks. Okay, like this video, subscribe to my channel to get more doses of necessary truth for the betterment of society, and bye for now.